What's good? You already know it's your man Chris, aka Apocalypse. Religiously, comfortably. Blatantly. And balls to the wall, egregiously. I am still representing the squad when it comes to Out of Bounds Live. Yep, 2 years in running, and y'all still try to act like y'all don't know. We the fans, you motherfuckers love to hate. You know, y'all seen the banner, you know what I'm saying? Open invite, you know. I'm hoping a couple other people can like pull up, you know, hence lunch break, you know, and I'm sure some jackass is gonna be like, it's 1:30, how's it lunch break? Look, I know some of you lazy motherfuckers for that y'all job don't really be doing shit. Okay. It's like my daddy taught me as a kid. You know, everybody want a job, but don't nobody want to work. You know. So in that capacity, I know the bullshit y'all be doing on y'all lunch break and how y'all overextend y'all lunch break. So don't try to check me. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a start time for a live lunch break. You know, it's still lunchtime. Lunch is from 11 to 2 on average. Go to any restaurant, you know, as far as their lunch menu, next to maybe 3 before they go into their dinner service, all right? So there's several things I'm going to make an earnest attempt to run through, try to bring a little clarity, you know. But y'all know the way we do it at Out of Bounds Live, you know, if anything, probably going to generate more questions than answers for the way we do the rundown. All right, but I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes, man. So, but until then, I got some shout outs I got to give out real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially after getting off the phone with my main man, my number one, the ace, the godfather, the Don Dada. You know what I'm saying? My man JD, you know. B-Day shout out to Uncle Eugene Presley, okay, my former tag team partner, as I was running with the Rogues Gallery known as Blurred Minds Media, you know, and Monday Night Mayhem Wrestling Podcast, you know, loved when Uncle Eugene would come sit in, and like I said, world greatest tag team, one of the few people on the planet that can match, let alone supersede my knowledge and love for professional wrestling, okay? And I don't think Uncle Eugene, if you catch this, I don't think we've been out seeing each other since back in 22. You know, you came pick me up. You know, went out, had a good time and shit. So hopefully, you know, if you catch this, you know, but unless I got to hop on your page, we got to get back in contact. You know, but definitely making Norman's B-Day shout out to my man, Uncle Eugene, okay, you know, and an anniversary shout out. All right. You know, Petty King and the Grand Diva, you know, Terry Cha-Cha Tolbert. You know, y'all love for each other inspires and simultaneously borderlines annoys me inside. What did I tell? What did I tell y'all a couple years ago? Y'all so in love, it's actually annoying, but a good annoying, an annoying to where a love like that should be aspired for. You know, a love like that should be wanted and earned and yearned by people. You know what I'm saying? You two are fucking amazing. Y'all know I don't know how y'all do it. I'm new to the club. You know, I bounce a lot of questions off y'all too, okay? You know, so between Uncle Eugene, his recent birthday, and Terry and Cha-Cha's anniversary shout out. You know, hey, we couldn't pull up yet. Tell y'all, you know, I'm back on nights. I'm doing 6 nights a week, Tuesday through Sunday. So summertime or not, you know, I'm gonna unfortunately be missing a lot of events coming up. You know, but don't you motherfuckers worry. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Angie and myself, we will find a way. You know what I'm saying? From time to time to pull up on you motherfuckers. So, you know, trying to give y'all a couple of minutes. You know what I'm saying? But don't nobody want to eat with me? Nobody want to have lunch with me? Yeah, you lying motherfuckers. Well, it's all good. Some of y'all probably busy. I get it. You know, I tagged a few people though, so they know what the deal is, man. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. All right, shitload when it comes to NBA. Okay, and before I get to the meat, the business as far as NBA conversation, you know, yeah, the finals was last night, and that's cool. Yeah, to wake up yesterday morning and to see the Houston Rockets making a deal for Kevin Durant, snatching him from Phoenix. You know, I wasn't necessarily surprised per se. If you read a word, Durant's trade talks, Houston was one of the teams on his list of destinations per se. And Phoenix was more than happy to oblige his motherfucking ass, you know. Now, some of you motherfuckers might be like, oh, trying to hate on KD. I can't hate on the Slim Reaper. I can't hate on the Durantula, you know what I'm saying? I can't hate on one of the all-time great scorers in league history. I can't do it. I can't hate on a 2-time champ. What I can do is ask a question. And this question is more directed towards the Houston Rockets front office. You know, giving up Dylan Brooks and who's that other guy? Who is it? What's his name? Somebody knows. Which I like Dylan Brooks. I like Dylan Brooks as a solid piece to take as far as starting five. Man, like I tried to explain to this young brother at work yesterday. You know, points wise, you know, that's gonna be a 16 to 20 average. You know, but what I really like about Dylan Brooks and always have, you know, is the fact that I trust him as a perimeter defender. You know, so particularly being out in the West. So you talk about somebody like an SGA or Anthony Edwards, you know. Some might say to a lesser degree, but I think that's more about the team's lack of success than as a player. You know, De'Aaron Fox. You know, I got to put him in that same mix. Okay, when you talk about the up-and-coming guards, the younger perimeter-based guys, you know, and do you got a perimeter defender in your lineup, particularly your starting five, you know? And I've always looked at Dylan Brooks like that, you know, going back to his time in Memphis, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't remember this other guy's name. But anyway, you give up 2 plays. Jalen Green, I'm sorry. God, I don't know how I forgot that. Which young up-and-coming players, I'm a Jalen Green fan. Y'all can blast him on social media for his cougar issues or whatever. You know, I'm trying to keep it in the context of sports. I like Jalen Green. Okay, I like that kid. So you talking about giving up Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks plus the 10th pick in this year, aka Wednesday night's NBA draft? Yeah, okay. And 5 second-round picks. Okay, understand the question I'm trying to propose here to the Houston front office. This isn't shade or hate towards Kevin Durant. We already covered that. Okay. Question I pose to the Houston Rockets front office is: you're willing and compliant and facilitating this player acquisition at the cost of gutting the entire future of your franchise. Come on, listen to this rundown. This is what Houston's giving up for KD. Remind you, a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. Okay. Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick, Wednesday night's draft, 5 second-round picks. That's what y'all were willing to spend on a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. So, his young brother at work, he's like, why did you reiterate he's 37? You act like KD sucks. Never said KD sucks. Once again, reminding y'all, one of the prolific scorers. Okay, you just talking about a pure scoring talent. There's still a few people in the league now and throughout the history of the league that can just go get you a bucket like Kevin Durant. Yet still, like I have to remind this brother at work, they made this trade for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. Give me the KD from just 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. Give me the KD 5 years ago, Houston tonight. You know, you still got a veteran guard like Fred VanVleet. You know what I'm saying? You still got a young talent like me, Thompson, and Shangham. Okay, they have had to deal with growing pains via their first round exit as a higher seed against Golden State early in the playoffs. All right, so Houston front office, you were willing to gut, just totally rip out. This is when you talk about the future of your franchise, okay, this is a trade hysterectomy. All right, just ripping, we're going to rip it all out. For a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. Let that really sit in for me. Like, let that shit marinate. Particularly anybody who's catching this and truly understands weighing the value of a player you're trying to acquire, you know, versus the stock that you have. Whether it's, you know, via the roster, whether it's via excuse me, draft picks you have stored in the cupboard. Okay? Man. Let me put that down for man. That's another day in the life of the gas chamber. But my point is, get the KD 5 years ago, I wouldn't say this would be too bad of a move. We talk about a young team like that that won 50 games. At least got to the playoffs. Took their lumps first round. Okay, they had to learn how to play in the playoffs. Okay, yet you're going to gut the entire future of that franchise for 37-year-old Kevin Durant. And I'm simply asking you, Houston Rocket front office, why? That's a good core to build off of. We're talking about young guys that are still under contract. You know, most of these guys are still 2 to 3 years away from eligibility, okay, of their first contract extension, okay? But the kids say, you know what I'm saying, getting it on the low. Well, actually, 2 questions. All right, so now you make the deal for KD, all right, a 37-year-old KD. So, the financial ramifications. So are you telling me, more importantly, fans of the Houston Rockets, are you telling them, with the trade made, KD's going to want minimum a 2-year extension, like off top. Okay? And, with his status or whatever. So now I know obviously he's going to be questioned as far as, his health and he's going to be able to hold up, blah, 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 blah. And that's fair. He has recent injury history. These are facts. It's not shade. But besides gutting your franchise, the second question I feel the Houston Rocket fans want to know is, what's this going to cost? Okay, you can't tell these people as an organization, you went through all this work and gave up all this to trade KD to then not sign him to an extension. Okay, the money's got to come at some point. Yeah. I got reservations about this shit. Because the number one how do you modern women say it today? Red flag. Everything's a red flag with y'all, But the number one red flag for me is willing to gut the future of this franchise, okay? There's no telling the type of player and what that player would have developed into as far as the number 10 pick going in the Wednesday draft. Okay? And then you have 5 second-round picks. And everybody knows there's always diamonds in the rough when it comes to the NBA draft. Okay? There are plenty of players throughout the years that's had solid, productive careers, whether they became a star or superstar or not, you know what I'm saying? And were part of championship rosters, okay, and successful teams, you know what I'm saying? You're willing to give up that potential and possibility for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. I used to rock his front office. We gonna see, man. It's been a weird NBA week for me. Last week, the team I love, the Lakers, get sold. That, that's a lot to take in. And it's a little more personal. Even though I understand it's business, that's my squad. This Houston KD situation, you know what I'm saying? So the young brother, to wrap this part up real quick. So the young brother, I'm having a chat with, he's like, well, Houston got the better part of the deal. Bullshit. They got to try to figure out how to fucking re-sign a 37-year-old KD that they just gutted their franchise for it in a trade. Okay. Bradley Beal got no trade clause, so him and Book, like I reminded him, Book's better when he's not at the point. I love Book at the 2 or the 3. I do, because he's a guy who can create scoring opportunities for himself without the ball. A lost art for a lot of you motherfuckers. Y'all just want to stand and shoot. Too busy relying on that catch and shoot badge on 2K. So can you shoot a jumper off the dribble? You can do something off the bounce, okay? What's your mini game like? And, things like that is why I've always been a big Devin Booker fan as a player. And that's a guy I'm a fan of. After losing that 21 chip to Giannis in Milwaukee, I mean, that's a guy I've been rooting for to get a chip. And Phoenix has just, to me, always been one of those organizations. I mean, they make a lot of bad deals and they've had a lot of shitty rosters. Yeah, it just seems like even when they really got a package there, there's always and when I say a piece or two, I mean player, the type of player that could really help propel Book's game and for him to lead that team in that city to a chip, Phoenix definitely got the better of this deal. They got 5 first-round picks, and they got the overall 10th pick going in the Wednesday night's draft. Don't fucking tell me Houston won this trade. That is Magnanimous bullshit. For real, for real. So, what's really good, motherfuckers? Y'all still know it's Out of Bounds Live. Which means I know some of y'all still watching and hating. Don't want to pull up, don't want to comment, don't want to challenge anything I have to say. You know, you don't want to take shots at the man. You know, it's a little puzzling, man. What's troubling? You know, new young cat kitchen downstairs. Got two kitchens. I'm upstairs in the main kitchen. And going into game 5 of the finals, he was trying to, and I had to get my knee getting on. You know what I'm saying? Knowing I still love Walking Dead. And I had to shut that shit down with no exception. Mm-hmm. And while he recognized my brilliance, you know, it got to him. It got to him bad because he was wrong. You know? So, parlaying that into Out of Bounds Live in this situation, you know, me and the world's dopest guard, Six Nine, request, implore, challenge you motherfuckers, okay? We just want good sports conversation, whether you agree with us or not. You know, challenge anything that's presented. Just come correct with it. Have your shit together. You know? You know, so as far as the NBA, man, you know, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, business, OKC, at home, game 7, pulling up in the championship buses. You know, and because I didn't get to watch the entire game, I was at work most of the time, you know what I'm saying? So after it went off, you know, thanks to the magic of DVR, you know what I'm saying, just clicked it right back home. Okay, and I'm seeing Indiana's coach Rick Carlisle and the look on his face on the video when they're doing like the video tribute, you know, or whatever, and then the buses, Oklahoma City Thunder 2025 NBA champions, painted up. And the look on that man's face, that wasn't a look, that was a scowl. That was a classic, old school, pissed off white man scowl. You know, I'm not implying race had anything to do with the situation. It's just Rick Carlisle is a white man. And there's a certain just intense, feverish look, you know, and they're fixated. You know, they are now making no attempts to hide the fact that they are mad as fuck. You know, and I'm petty as fuck, and I love moments like that. You're the opposing team in their house trying to win a game 7 in the NBA Finals. Why in the fuck would you think they'd be nice to you? You know, I see some shit through the networks, you know what I'm saying? A couple social media posts I checked out, you know, as far as that alone and just all this hate. You know, I respect and applaud Oklahoma City's audacity. We're going to a game 7 in the NBA Finals at home, seeking the first championship for this city and that franchise. And everything that comes with it. Players, coaches, employees, everything. Everybody associated with that organization, you know. I loved it. I fucking loved it, you know. Why shouldn't they feel good? Why shouldn't they feel confident? You know, and I didn't have a problem with that display, you know what I'm saying? For the game, you know, being able to watch completely last night, early on, Indiana was setting the tone. They were. You know, and that is all due to Tyrese Halliburton. Everything positive Indiana got done sparked from him. You know, it is, you know, like 3 out of 5, something like that. You know, his first couple of shots, 3 threes. you know, playmaking, decision making, things like that. You know, not just his baskets, but everything successfully Indiana was getting done. It all started with Tyrese Halliburton. And just see when he went down, because one of our servers, when the game was actually on, came in and told me what happened. And I'm like, no, no, no. And so to actually see that play, you know, on the rerun, it just made me sicker because I seen it, you know. And I got to think about that, you know. Listen to my old heads. It's going back to when the LT broke Joe Theismann's leg on Monday Night Football. You know, I have seen all the major gruesome sports injuries in real time when that play has happened. Name it, I've seen it. Okay? And it started with that. For me. I think it was the 84 season. And so I have to see him go down like that. It just as a fan of the sport, man, and it did. It's like my heart sunk a little bit, you know, because I know it's at stake. It's the finals. You know, so many people late to the Indiana Pacer party. Okay? And whether in following them, let alone gambling junkie motherfucker, all right? We've already covered that, all right? We're here, we're now. Everything is at stake, we look at it from the Pacers' point of view. Another team seeking their first title, all right? 25 years since they were last in the fucking finals. They had to do with Kobe Shaq. But the point of the matter is, that team, that organization, that fan base, to see that man go down, and especially Coach Rico Carlisle, I think everyone knew, one, he's done, because now that calf strain he suffered earlier, you know, and played hella in Game 6, but man, it broke. And now that Achilles is, you know, especially in major sports, man, Achilles injury, especially, it's such a tough injury to recover from. Even with the advances in medical technology, all right, it is a tough injury to recover from, between the surgery, the pain, eventually the rehab, all the work he's going to have to do just to get back. Okay. Yet they were still hanging tough. I can't front. They were still getting some things done. The main problem I seen was just the lack of point production. You know, Pascal Siakam 16 in the finals. You know, Allie makes that thing go. Yet when it comes to scoring, Siakam's that dude as far as the Pacers. All right, and no shot to TJ McConnell. He is simply not Tyrese Halliburton. All right, and whether in the half court or in transition, they're just things Indiana wants to get done offensively. They could and wouldn't gonna be able to continue to get done via this shitty ass fucking injury this man suffered. That's goddess something, man. Yeah, on the flip side, as far as OKC and their point of view, the only complaint I have about SGA's performance is his lack of efficiency. I mean, 28 points, yeah, man. He took almost 30 shots to get there. So you want to, you know, discuss a little subtle critiques or semantics, fine. Bottom line, 28-12, only one turnover, because in all they losses, turnovers killed them. And in all they losses, Shea himself, the man, had 4 turnovers or more. I should have put props in for turnover. They need to start allowing that. They need to start allowing that as a prop overall. Maybe I can send that in, make some money off of it. The point of the matter, historic run. You know, not just for SGA, you know, that team, that organization, that fan base, that city, all right? But the 28-12, and for me, man, with a cat like SGA, the 12 dime, you picked the right night to have your playoff career in assists. I have said it, particularly since the Clippers made that trade. When they get some pieces around him, some guys he could trust to make it finish plays, you know, he could easily be that. Excuse me. He could easily be that 6 to 8 assist guy nightly. So to get that 12, get that dirty dozen on him, one turnover. Way to cherish the ball, love the ball, respect the ball. Even more so to have a running mate like Jalen Williams coming off his first All-Star appearance, you know, and another facet of this historic run. It's a couple facets of history, man, we got to discuss as far as Oklahoma City securing that title back, all right? Jalen Williams, SGA, contribution as far as the record books in the NBA Finals history, second highest scoring duo in the history of the Finals. Okay? Second. For once Jordan lost something. For once Jordan loses something. Second, because Jordan and Pippen is behind them. And only LeBron and Kyrie from their title year is number one. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That is like one of the most, when I think about stats, NBA Finals, and select groups, that, you know what I'm saying, it's not a lot of people that's done with this one, that one, that. You know, and we really, really let it sink in. That is a phenomenal accomplishment. I think enough fans of the game were well aware of Jalen Williams as far as his capability. You know, this NBA postseason run definitely was his introduction to the world, particularly the 40-piece Game 5. Okay, and when you a guy like SGA and you're the face of that franchise, and getting the right players around you so you can help lead that franchise to the title. Hey, to have a cat around you like Jalen Williams is a blessing. It's a blessing. You know, OKC as a team still shot like shit from three. They knocked the ones down that counted. Because even with they scoring issues, their defense, even in the fourth quarter, when Indiana was making that last push without Hallie, they did not lay down. They more than made this thing competitive, all right? And I love and respect that shit because it is the fucking finals. And from the Indiana point of view, nobody gave these people a shot each round of playoffs. And they here. If they top guy goes down, and they still kept fighting. That OKC's defense. Yeah. That's what kept them alive when they were having their scoring droughts. Because they were, you know. Now, Holman came alive for 18 finally. You know, and the thing I love about his performance, 5 fucking blocks. Okay. He's not big yet. You're still a 7-footer. You should be a deterrent in the paint. Okay, people should not really want to come down there and challenge you. You're still 7 foot, and you're long, and you're young, and you're athletic. He's not a stiffy or like Frankenstein. You know, Jay Holmgren can move, man. And with that length, man, he cover a lot of ground quick. A lot of weak side rotations that are missed. He can help clean up those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? When the player that's driving now is coming to that area, 5 blocks, man. Jay Holmgren for sure said he had 5 on it. Y'all still act like defense don't matter. Wow. Team wins most games in that franchise history, secures the Western Conference by 16 games, leads the league in 12 to 15 key defensive categories. Literally, number one in all of them. And when they're having trouble getting buckets, but they had such a big lead early, you know what I'm saying? Their defense still kept them in it. Till offensively, they, you know what I'm saying, supposed to close that thing out. Chet Holmgren, remember defense matters. Okay, see that. You hold Indiana to 91, and I know a piece of that is Tyree Haliburton. The way he was getting started, I'm like, man, this dude's probably going to have a 25, 30-point night, whether Indiana won the game or not. Hallie, yeah, he was coming out. He was coming out, you know what I'm saying? So, what have we learned? As OKC is secured the title bag, you know what I'm saying? The culmination of they run. A team that just 3 years ago only won 24 fucking games that season. When I say what have we learned, I mean you motherfuckers. Because I've always known this. And I keep railing about it till enough of you people understand the validity of my statement. All right? Hey, NBA. Small market teams fucking matter. And small market teams can be successful. This is part of the genius of Sam Presti for the OKC GM. Go back to the should have been at least a finals appearance, not a chip. You know, Westbrook, Durant, Harden run, those squads, okay? He didn't build that core, signing a bunch of high-priced free agents. You know, smart draft picks, developing that talent, being able to use that talent as trade bait for higher draft picks. And they stockpile draft picks, particularly first-round picks. Okay? And he remained steadfast in that formula as far as truly building a team and a roster, all right, they can actually compete. And we know OKC sucked for years. Yeah, man, you know, one of the benefits of sucking, you get a lot of first round picks. You know, you got some guys, I mean, because y'all suck anyway, can't really be competitive. So you might as well take some guys that got decent value and parlay that shit to first round picks. And you stockpile those picks. Okay? And you draft and you develop talent. You build that program. And, you know, saying to not waver from his philosophy to get here where he is now. Sam Presti, GM of the now NBA champion, Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, and on the side note, particularly since they got similar styles offensively, both teams like to push. You know, Indiana's front office has been doing the same shit. You know, a nugget I failed to drop last week is, so the morning of Game 5, they secured a deal with the Pelicans, swapping picks. And starting 2026, the Indiana Pacers, they have at least one first-round draft pick in each draft, starting in 2026 for like the next 5 to 7 years. Building. They're a young team too. I mean, you got Turner and Siakam. Outside of that, they got a young core. You got him, Nesmith, the other kid, Mathurin. You know, Hallie, once he's back and healthy, hey, you know, I fell into to pull off the upset last night. You know, you think about that first round pick draft nugget I just gave you motherfuckers. I feel the future's looking pretty good, man, for the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, recognize the celebration. Okay. Appreciate the achievement. Okay. Respect what it fucking took for this team, those players, that organization as a whole, that fan base in that city. Respect what it took for all of them to get to where they are right here, right now. Be his last night's championship. History. You know? History, baby. Y'all in the books. No asterisk, nothing. Etched in stone. Can't be denied. All right, and see the fans and shit, man, really getting their boogie on. SGA, you know, another historic moment. One of the few guys in the history of the league to win the scoring title, league MVP, and finals MVP all the same season. SGA got one in the books. Kareem has one in the books. No, I think he did it twice. The record for pulling off that feat. Because, of course, who else? You know, fucking Jordan, man. You know, Jordan wins everything. I swear. But yeah, another piece of how historic this win is for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you zone in on the SGA's accomplishments and how they help facilitate getting the ring. I mean, I love this ring. I'm not gonna act like I wouldn't love an NBA title ring. Like, fuck yeah, man, get that shit. All right, you ain't gotta like it. You need to respect it. All right, and they're gonna be a problem to deal with too. I think for the next couple of years. Okay, you know, following Sam Presti's model, you know, and they're literally one of the youngest teams. The question is for Oklahoma City, you know, particularly the players, you know, now that y'all taste sweet nectar of that championship juice. Or the egos and the bullshit gonna start. Front office gotta make decisions. Some key guys have to get extensions. You know, will the greed start kicking in? These are fair questions, and I'm going to ask them because I've only seen this happen 1,000 times before, particularly an organization winning a first title. Pick your sport, don't matter. You know what I'm saying? What's really good, man? It is my only day off of the week. It is hot as fuck. And thanks to the good Lord and my wonderful wife, Angie, securing really nice AC unit, nice window unit, go with my fan. Staying hydrated. Look, you really ain't got to be out here, though. And as far as this weather, we talk about essential employment, landscapers, lawn care services, roofers, construction workers, bricklayers, anything of that capacity. Even you lazy ass fucking bum standing on the highway not doing shit but holding a sign for $45 an hour. Get your water in. Please, please stay hydrated. All right? It is dangerously hot out here. This is nothing to play with, okay? You know, want everybody to be safe, you know. And check on somebody. You know, check on somebody. You know, don't just check on your people. Check on somebody. You know. See if they need anything. A lot of you motherfuckers, no motherfuckers that y'all fuck with need help with shit. Okay. And don't get me wrong, we're all adults here. Okay. Everybody supposed to be handling their business, whatever capacity is for us. It's their lifestyle. That's fine and then. Okay. Help don't always have to be money. You know, I think that's where a lot of you motherfuckers get weird. You know, we talk about helping, you know, or checking in on somebody. Discussing this heat, you know, or people's AC. Fans running properly, all right? So we have food. You know, of course, numero uno, what's your water situation looking like? You need a ride somewhere? You need a break from the kids? You want to hop on the game for a minute? Take a break from not just the heat, everything else going on with whoever that person is? And check on motherfuckers, man. You see the people I'm talking about and or talking to, y'all the first motherfuckers around. Ain't nobody checking on y'all. Because motherfuckers know y'all just so self-absorbed. Y'all just living that delusional mind state, man, that it's all about you. You know, everybody supposed to do for you. You can't do shit for nobody else. And they want to know why people don't fuck with you. That's part of that pie. You know, if you had a pie chart of the major components of why people don't fuck with you, particularly good people, okay? There's a lot of same people I'm talking to and about. Y'all revel in being around the wrong motherfuckers. Y'all revel in that shit. Y'all revel in being around the motherfuckers that really don't care about you, that they boost that minuscule excuse of an ego you fucking have. Your peoples hold you down, you know, and your peoples help keep you humble. Even as, you know, things prosper for you as your life goes on, you know what I'm saying? It's like the old saying, man make the money, money don't make the man. You know, you can be rich and still be an asshole. You can still be a jerk motherfucker. You know, no matter what gender you are, especially you dudes, you niggas kill me. Y'all be on some of the most ostentatiously weirdest shit ever. Just in life in general. You know, back to my original point, man. Check on people. You know, not just the motherfuckers in your circle. People you know. A couple times during the shift, no matter where I work at, you know, but I especially focusing on the kitchen crew I'm working with, you know, for years. A couple times throughout the shift, I asked motherfuckers, you know, you all right? You good? So the environment we work in and the things we have to do, and some of the people we have to deal and work with, you know, whether it's the kitchen crew, whether it's management, whether it's jackass fucking servers, which is really frustrating with me because I'm not a fan of that front of the house, back of the house beef bullshit or shift wars. First shift don't do this, second shift don't do that. Nine. I'm nine. You know, well, my point is, even in situations like work, another facet, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, check on motherfuckers. Just check on people, man. See if people are all right. You know. You wouldn't want people to do you the same way. And once again, I reiterate, extend that to just not people in your circle. You know, everybody like, no, I gotta go check on my people. I gotta go check on my people. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to check on people. You know, you motherfuckers, like I said before, man, I'm continuing to maintain my stance on this because y'all keep showing and proving day in and day out. Y'all too self-absorbed. A lot of you motherfuckers don't have no sense of integrity or substance about you as a person. You don't. As people, a lot of you motherfuckers just suck. And I know some of you motherfuckers. I don't move like that. Even with my lone wolf syndrome. Because overall, I don't run with a pack. You know, lone wolf syndrome, that's me. Yet even in that capacity, I know the people I need to be in my life and the people that I want to surround myself by. Surround myself with. You know, even if I don't get to see them for this bad a time, that bad a time, still maintaining that open line of communication, man. And a big part of that is checking on motherfuckers. Check on people. Not just your people. Check on people. People you know, people you see, one capacity or another. Okay. It's not that hard and it really doesn't take much effort. Y'all too busy with y'all seafood boils and y'all turnips. You know, your rosters, your side pieces, you know, social media status. Y'all too concerned and pour too much energy into so much bullshit. One of the purest, simplest things you can do as people. We are a species that is not meant to be solitary. Why you think solitary confinement is still used as punishment? There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. You motherfuckers need to figure that shit out. So in the meantime, between times, it's your man Chris. AK Apocalypse. 1.